What's going on, guys? Thanks for watching. Keep calm and game on. We're going to just watch some of the first cabinet meeting of the Trump presidency. Because why not? We might watch the whole thing. We might just watch part of it. We might skip through some of it. Yeah, but we're just gonna hop in. If you guys got any comments throughout the stream, I'll try to respond as soon as I see them. But yeah, we're just chilling. We're going to see what's up.
Having a very successful
and
we want to make that many months and years, actually. But we're going to have many good months, and we're going to have many good years, I hope. And
that is a very red tie.
Problems. We're doing very well with Russia, Ukraine. President Zelensky is going to be coming on Friday. That's now confirmed, and we're going to be signing an agreement, which will be a very big agreement. And I want to thank Howard and Scott for the job you guys did in putting it together. Really did an amazing job, and that'll be on
an amazing job
and other things. And as you know, we're in.
I can turn it up if it's not loud enough, guys. Just let me know.
$1 billion. Europe is in for $100 billion. And
this is the broadcast from the official White House YouTube channel, so hopefully I don't get banned. But I guess we'll find out.
So it's very important for Europe, and they hopefully will step up and do maybe more than they're doing, and maybe a lot more. The previous administration put us in a very bad position, but we've been able to make a deal where we're going to get our money back, and we're going to get a lot of money in the future, and I think that's appropriate because we have taxpayers that are shouldn't be footing the bill, and they shouldn't be footing the bill at more than the Europeans are paying. So it's all been worked out.
I agree. We should not be footing the bill, as he said.
Very importantly, we're going to be able to make a deal. Most importantly, by far, we're going to make a deal with Russia and Ukraine to stop killing people. They'll stop killing.
That's good.
Young Russian soldiers and young Ukrainian soldiers and other people in addition in the towns and cities. And we will consider that a very important thing and a big accomplishment because it was going nowhere until this administration came in. They hadn't spoken to President Putin in 2 years. And so we'll keep you advised. Before we begin the cabinet, I'd like to have Scott and a couple.
We're reacting to this a lot. Well, this is a post-broadcast. This was earlier today.
This is a gentleman who's
but I was at work, so I didn't get to watch it.
And he's going to say, you all know him, and you're going to say grace, and then we'll have our meeting, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this awesome privilege, Father, to be in your presence. God, thank you that you've allowed us to see this day. The Bible says that your mercies are new every morning. And Father God, we give
if you guys are watching, drop those comments down below.
God, for President Trump, Father, for
this is Trump's first cabinet meeting of his presidency, so that's kind of cool.
Father, we pray you will give the president, the vice president wisdom.
If you're pro-Trump, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you don't like Trump, give me a thumbs down in the chat.
Lord God, we pray that
this is my first time watching this because I didn't get to watch it when I was at work. I think it's like an hour long. We might watch the whole thing. We might skim through it. Just let me know in the comments what you want to see. I like the fact that they're starting it off with a prayer. That's kind of cool. Scott, how you doing, Scott? That is a very big table. That is a very big table. Also, guys, let me know how the sound is. I can turn up the video, up the volume from the video if I need to, or I can turn down my volume. Just let me know in the comments. If you can't hear it, let me know.
That was a very good job you did. You've done that before, haven't you? So Scott Turner's a terrific young guy. He's heading.
There's Marco Rubio.
He's going to make us all very proud, right?
I'm watching the President Trump hosts first cabinet meeting.
Border crossings have plummeted.
This is his first cabinet meeting.
Nobody's actually ever seen before. It's much more than 100%. And
this was earlier today.
Unleashed American energy at levels that will soon be reported. But we think we're going to get it going very quickly. We have incredible people on the energy front.
Incredible people.
Really great people on every front.
Really great people.
You know
really good.
But I think they really are.
Some would say the best.
We're fighting every day to get the prices down. The inflation is stopping slowly. But
Gas
part of the reason
prices
it's
did
stopping
drop a
is
little
because
bit. I
of
went to
high
go get
interest rates
gas.
and
It
other
was like
problems that we inherited.
$3.20, and now it's
We
like
have to get the prices down, not the
$3.09.
inflation down, the prices
There were a lot of
of
people at the gas
eggs and
station,
various other
but
things.
like
Eggs are
I
a
don't know what they were
disaster.
doing in Washington to make it.
Secretary of
I don't know if they made
Agriculture is
some
gonna be
deals or
showing
something.
you
I
a
don't know, but it
chart
like
that's
dropped
actually
like 10
mind-boggling what's
cents.
happened, how low they were with us and how high
Obviously,
they
I
are
would like
now.
it to go lower,
But I think
but
we
you
can
know.
do something about it, Madam Secretary. And I think
Can
you're
we
gonna
get
do a
some
fantastic
hashtag
job in that
MAGA
position.
MAGAs
One
in the
of
chat?
most
Are there any
important initiatives is
MAGA
those,
fans out there?
and
Any Trump
we,
fans
have
watching?
cut
There's got to be at
billions
least a
and
couple,
billions
right?
and
Couple out
billions
there.
of dollars. We're looking to get it maybe to $1 trillion if we can do that.
Even if you're a Trump
We're
hater,
gonna
that's
start
fine.
getting to be at a point where we can think in terms of
I won't
balancing
judge.
budgets, believe it or not, something you haven't heard in many, many years, decades actually. And it's a big, whether it's this year or next year, I think we'll be very close to balancing budgets. And the Doge is very important. And Elon is here to give you a summary of what's happening.
Oh yeah,
some of the
Elon
things
Musk
they
was at
found,
this
some of the
meeting
horrible
as well.
things
That's
they
kind of
found,
cool.
Some of the theft and
I'm an Elon fan.
fraud.
I'm a
and,
Tesla
we call it
fan.
waste and abuse, but a lot of fraud, and probably some fraud that we're not going to be able to prove is fraud. But when you hear the names and the places where this money's going, it's a disgrace. But we've requested that a lot of people. We want to make sure that the people are working. So letters were sent out, and I think everyone.
They sent one email, and they basically said they're going to send a second email, give everybody a second chance. And if they don't respond to this one with 5 bullet points of things they've accomplished this week, then they're going to get canned. Bye-bye. Adios. They're going to get canned. So they better respond to the email. You know, it's not that hard.
And
They're making a lot of money,
some
okay?
Simple questions like, what have you done lately?
Exactly.
And if they can answer that. 'cause
Just
I
tell
can,
America
I
what
can
you've been
tell
doing.
You everything I've done for the last long period of time.
Tell us what you've been up
More
to.
than a week. And
It's not that
in many
complicated.
cases, we haven't gotten responses. Usually that means that maybe that person doesn't exist, or that person doesn't want to say they're working for another company while being paid.
I'll turn
by
up the video
United
just
States
slightly,
government. So,
a little bit.
there's a lot of interesting things. It's very unique, but we have a very unique situation because we have a lot of people that were scamming our country. We have a lot of dishonest people. We have a lot of people that
scamming.
took advantage
A
of
lot of
a
dishonesty.
lot of different situations.
So
and we're not
much.
gonna let that happen. So I'm going to ask if it's possible to have Elon get up. first
Hey,
and
Elon,
talk
here we go,
about
here we go.
Doge,
This should be
because
interesting.
It seems to be of great interest to everyone. I will say that there is a large group of people in this country that have such admiration for what we're doing. I got elected with a
And keep in mind,
tremendous vote,
Elon
winning
Musk
every swing state, winning
is
the
helping
popular vote,
for free.
winning the counties
He's not
by
getting any money from
thousands
this.
of counties. I think
Even
it's
Trump,
2,800
he's not getting paid for this. He's like
500,
donating his
2,800
entire
counties to 500 counties. Think of that.
pension.
And so we have a mandate to do this, and this is part of the.
So he's working
reason
for free.
I got elected. I got elected based on taxes and based on many things in the border, but also based on balancing budgets and getting our country back into shape. And this is a big part of it. So Elon, if you could get up and explain where you are.
Okay, here we
how
go.
you're
Here
doing,
comes
and
Elon.
how
This
much
should be
we're cutting,
interesting.
and it's an honor to have you. He's been a tremendously successful guy. He's really working so hard, and he's got businesses to run. And in many ways, they say, "How do you do this?" And, you know,
Whoop.
he's sacrificing a lot, and getting a lot of praise, I'll tell you. But he's also getting hit, and we would expect that. And that's the way it
You guys can
works.
vote on
So
that poll
I'd
if
like
you
to
want.
have, Elon
Is
Musk
Trump
please
doing a
say
good
few
job?
words. Thank you, Elon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually just call myself a humble tech support here because this is actually, as crazy as it sounds.
Somebody left a comment. One second.
That is almost a literal description of.
Yo,
the
bro,
work
I
the
wish I
Doge
could
team is
watch,
doing.
but I
It is
have
helping fix
a
the
lump in my
government
knee and a
jurisdictions. Many of
popping
these
super
systems
loud.
are,
Like,
extremely old. They don't communicate. They're
right, Jagger. Thanks for popping in, man.
The software doesn't work. So we are.
I hope,
actually-
hope your knee feels better, man.
It's ironic, but it's true. The overall goal here with the Doge team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain. as
I
a
like how
country
Elon's wearing like a
$2
suit
trillion
jacket,
deficit.
but he's got like a
The
t-shirt,
interest
a
rate-
t-shirt on
just
underneath
the
it.
interest on the national debt
That's funny.
now exceeds the Defense Department spending. We spend a lot on the Defense Department, but we're spending like over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing, it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here. And taking a lot of flack, and getting a lot of death threats, by the way. I'm gonna like stack them up, you know. But if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done. And I'm confident at this point, knock on wood, you know, knock on my wooden head, there's got a lot of wood up there, that we can actually find $1 trillion in savings. That would be roughly 15% of the $7 trillion budget. And obviously that can only be done with the support of everyone in this room. And I'd like to thank everyone for your support. Thank you very much. This can only be done with your support.
They're doing
So
great. They're doing great.
Really, DOGE is a support function for the president and for the agencies and departments to help achieve those savings and to effectively find 15% in reduction in fraud and waste. And we bring the receipts. So people say like, well, is this real? Just go to doge.gov. We line item by line item, we specify each item. So, and I should say, we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. So for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately, and there was no interruption. But we do need to move quickly if we're to achieve a $1 trillion deficit reduction in
$1 trillion.
2026. It requires
That's a lot.
saving $4 billion per day, every day, from now through the end of September. But we can do it, and we will do it. Thank you.
Would you have any questions of Elon while we're on the subject of those? Because we'll finish off with that. And if you would have any questions, please ask. You could ask me or Elon. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Musk. I just wanted to ask you, that President Trump put out a Truth Social today saying that everybody in the cabinet was happy with you. I just wondered if you had heard otherwise, and if you had heard anything about members of the cabinet who weren't happy with the way things were going, and if so, what are you doing to address those any dissatisfaction?
Elon, let the cabinet speak just for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Is anybody unhappy with Elon? If you are, well, throw them out of here. Is anybody unhappy?
If you guys are just popping in, we are reacting to President Trump's first cabinet meeting on February 26, 2025.
Doing this, and some disagree a little bit, but I will.
If you're watching, drop those comments down below and vote on the poll we got going
So go ahead, Elon.
in the chat.
And President Trump has put together, I think, the best cabinet ever. Literally. So, and I do not give false praise. This is an incredible group of people. I don't think that such a talented team has actually ever been assembled. I think it's literally the best cabinet that the country has ever had, and I think the company should be incredibly appreciative of the people in this room.
Go ahead, please. Yeah. Go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you. Mr. Musk, are there about half of the government employees so far appear to have responded to your request for what they've been doing over the past week? Is there a timeline in place for next moves for people being fired, and when can the American people expect to see results from that?
Yes. Well, to be clear, like I think that email perhaps was misinterpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review. Do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse and 2 neurons? So if you have a pulse and 2 neurons, you can reply to an email.
You'd think people could reply to an email.
I think not a high bar.
Apparently some people can't.
This is should be anyone could accomplish this. But what we are trying to get to the bottom of is we think there are.
All they got to do is list
people
5
on
things they
who are,
accomplished in a week.
dead,
That's it.
which is probably why they can't respond.
If they can't name 5 things,
and
maybe
some
they
people who
shouldn't
are
have the
not real
job.
People, like they're literally fictional individuals that are collecting paychecks.
Maybe not.
Well, somebody's
Maybe
collecting
not.
paychecks
That's
on
just me.
fictional individuals. So we're just literally trying to figure out, are these people real? Are they alive? And can they write an email? Which I think is a reasonable expectation for the American public would have at least that expectation of someone in the public sector.
Mr. Musk, roughly a million employees.
This is it's not a high bar, guys, come on.
Roughly a million employees have responded so far to this email. Does that mean that the remaining 1 million or so federal employees now risk being terminated? And is it your understanding and expectation when you post a directive on X that the cabinet secretaries will follow that order? Because several agencies have instructed employees that this is voluntary or not to respond.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I guess it was like last week, the president encouraged me via Truth Social and also via phone call to be more aggressive. And I was like, okay, yes, sir, Mr. President, we will indeed do that. The president is the commander-in-chief. I do what the president asks. And I said, can we send out an email to everyone just saying, what did you get done last week? And the president said yes, so it did that. We got a partial response. We're going to send another email. But our goal is not to be capricious or unfair. We want to give people every opportunity to send an email. And the email could simply be, what I'm working on is too sensitive or classified to describe. Like literally just, that would be sufficient. I think this is just common sense.
And what is your target number for how many workers, employees you're looking to cut total?
We wish to keep everyone who is doing a job that is essential and doing that job well. But if the job is not essential or they're not doing the job well, they obviously should not be.
They shouldn't be working here, If they can't even send an email, they shouldn't be working
I'd
here.
like to add that those million people that haven't responded, though, Elon, they are on the bubble. I wouldn't say that we're thrilled about it. They haven't responded. Now, maybe they don't exist. Maybe we're paying people that don't exist. Don't forget, we just got here. This group just got here. But those people are on the bubble, as they say. Maybe they're going to be gone. Maybe they're not around. Maybe they have other jobs. Maybe they moved and they're not where they're supposed to be. A lot of things could have happened. I wouldn't say that Biden ran a very tight administration. They spent money like nobody's ever spent money before. Wasted money. The Green New Scam, all of the different things they spent money on. And you've seen that. You've seen that with some of the things that I read in speeches. I read them and people can't believe when I read them. 20 million here, 30 million here for, a little educational course on something. Circumcision, right? Circumcision. $20 million to inform the people of such and such a country on other things and other things other than that. So, those people are, right now we're trying to find out who those people are that haven't responded. Now, there'll be some agencies, like Marco has people within state that are right now doing very classified, very confidential work, and we understand that, and we've talked, and, we're being a little more surgical. And
More
Marco's doing a lot of
surgical,
things
as
himself.
they
He's,
say.
And some of the
Surgical.
secretaries, we're going to be going to them. We're going to be talking about it today. We're going to ask them to do their own doge. In other words, they'll look in their group and I spoke with Lee Zeldin, and he thinks he's going to be cutting 65% or so of the people from environmental. And we're going to speed up the process too at the same time. You had a lot of people that weren't doing their job. They were just obstructionists, and a lot of people that didn't exist, I guess, Lee, too. You found a lot of empty spots that the people weren't there. They didn't exist. I think
If you're just popping in, welcome to the stream. We're watching the first Trump cabinet meeting.
We want to move education back to the
Drop some
states where it
comments. Let me know
belongs.
what you think in the comment section. Also, vote on that poll we got going. I asked the question, do you think Trump
You're
is
gonna
doing
see
a good
education
job?
go way up. Right now,
Vote
we're
yes
ranked
or
at the
no.
very bottom
Let
of
me
the
know.
list, but we're at the top of the list in one
I think
thing,
he's doing a good
cost
job.
per pupil.
But that's
We
just me.
spend more money
That's just
per
me.
pupil than any other country in the world. And yet it's Denmark and Norway, Sweden, and I hate to say this, and we're going to get along very well with China, but it's a competitor. They're at the top of the list. They're among the top 10 usually, and they're a very big country, so we can't use that as an excuse, right? Because we're a very big country too, but we were ranked last time under Biden. We were ranked 40 out of 40. They do the 40 certain nations that they've done for a long time. It seems to be 40 for whatever reason. and we were ranked number 40. A year ago, we were 38, then we were 39. We hit 40. And so we're last in that, and we're first in cost per pupil. So I would say that's unacceptable. Lawrence, you have something? Go
So,
ahead.
Mr. President, I know you like competition, and I know it's early, so which department are you most impressed with? And then to Mr. That's the first one. Which department have you received the most resistance from? Mr. President,
Well, I think both of those questions are a little bit, well, you're a pretty controversial guy. Look, it's very early. Right now, I think I'm impressed with everybody, so far everybody. If I wasn't in the first month, and some of them just got here, they just got approved 2 days ago, right? But I think I'm very impressed with everybody. So far, I'm very happy with all of the choices. I think that Elon has done incredibly with some groups, and some groups are much easier than others. It is true, state is a, very difficult situation. We're right now negotiating very successfully, I think, with Russia and with Ukraine, and we have a lot of countries involved, and we have to be a little bit careful what we do and who we're terminating. But Marco is doing that I think he's going to be very precise. It's going to be, we're cutting down government. We're cutting down the size of government. We have
The
to.
size
We're
of
bloated.
government, snipping it
We're
down,
sloppy.
cutting it,
We have a lot of people that
Smaller.
aren't doing their job. We have a lot of people that don't exist.
nimble, quick.
You look at Social Security.
We
as
don't
an
need
example. I mean, you
tons
have
of
so many
people that
on
don't do
Social
anything.
Security where, if you believe it,
If they
they're
can't even send an
200 years
email,
old.
then,
And
what are they doing here?
Is finding out are checks going
Just
out
my
to them,
opinion.
and is somebody cashing those checks, who's maybe 35 years old? Okay, so there's a lot of dishonesty. There's a lot
If
of
you guys are
fraud.
just popping in,
But I
welcome
think
to
at
the
this
stream.
moment, I'll take
We're
Elon
watching
off
the
spot.
first
I think that
Trump
he's
cabinet meeting
impressed. He said it very well, better than I can say.
that he
but
did
he's
on
impressed
February
with the people in this
26th,
room, very
2025,
impressed.
which is
And I am
today,
too, and,
as of the
it's
making of
too
this
early
video. If you
to
got any
say, but
comments,
I think
drop them in the
everybody's
comment
on board.
section.
They all know. We want to balance a budget. We want to have a balanced budget within.
So far,
a
everybody
reasonably
that's
short
voted
period
on
of
the
time,
poll,
meaning maybe by
we
next
got
year
3
or the
votes.
year after, but maybe
The majority
maybe
of the
even
people
sooner
say
than
yes,
that.
Trump is doing a good job.
We just got new information that they're doxing our federal agents. They're putting
So
their
vote on that
personal
poll.
information out there.
67% say yes, he is. 33% say no, he is not.
Well, we have activists.
The poll is in the
and a lot
chat
of
if you
those-
want to vote on it.
Yeah, a lot of those activists are acting.
We're curious here. We're
illegally.
very
And
curious.
we'll give that to our Attorney General, and she'll take a look at that very strongly. But we also having a tremendous support
But like,
from Border
you know,
Patrol, from
if
ICE.
these guys
The
can't
ICE
even
agents have been
respond to an email
unbelievable.
with
Border
5
Patrol,
bullet points that said what
their
they did
leadership
in a
at Border
week,
Patrol
then
has been incredible.
I don't think
And
they
they're
should
working
work in
very
the
well.
government.
And as you know, and I saw
Seems
you
pretty-
reporting it this
pretty
morning,
simple.
actually, we set records on the least number of illegal aliens.
Also, if you're a
coming
Trump
in,
fan,
migrants coming into
drop
our
a
country
comment
that
down
we
below.
had-
Give me a
that
thumbs
we've
up
had
in the chat
more
if
than
you
50 years. And we did
are
this
a
all within
fan of
period
Trump.
weeks, 'cause we took over a mess.
and give me a thumbs down if
The
you don't
world
like
was
Trump.
pouring in. And
Okay?
remember, they were coming in from
You like
jails
Trump?
and
You don't like
prisons and
Trump. Let me know.
mental institutions and insane asylums, and there were gang members and drug dealers. Anybody wanted to come in, they came, and from not just South America.
I
From
think
all
we've
over the
sealed
world.
up the border pretty
So
well,
it's amazing what
and it's
they've
only
done,
been
and,
like a
Christie
month, a little over a
and
month.
Tom Homan, the
And it's
job
more
they've
secure
done has
now
been
than Biden ever
absolutely amazing. We
had
set
it
records
during
for,
4 years.
and we want people to come into
crazy.
our country, by the way, but they want to come in, they have to come in legally. I want that to be really understood. We want people in our country, but they have to come in legally.
You gotta come in legally. You can't break the law. If the first thing you're doing is breaking the law, then that's not good.
The question is, does this reflect a view on your part that the American immigration system has never been properly monetized as you feel it should be?
Well, not so much monetized. It hasn't been properly run. I get calls from, as an example, companies where they want to hire the #1 student at a school. A person comes from India, China, Japan, lots of different places, and they
Are they gonna be talking about the Trump gold card? What was just happened? There we
They
go.
go to all great schools, and they graduate #1 in their class.
I lost the sound for a second.
And they're made job offers, but the offer is immediately rescinded because you have no idea whether or not that person can stay in the country. I want to be able to have that person stay in the country. These companies can go and buy a gold card, and they can use it as a matter of recruitment. At the same time, the company is using that money to pay down debt. We're gonna pay down a lot of debt with that. And I think the gold card
I think it's a good
is
idea.
going to be used
Trump
by
gold
not
card, what do you
only
guys
for
think?
that,
Good
it'll be
idea?
used by
Stupid
companies.
idea? I think it's a
could
good
see
idea.
Apple, I've spoken with Tim Cook, and by the way, he's gonna make a $500 billion investment in the country only because of the results of the election. And I think because of tariffs. He's going to want to be in the country because of tariffs. Because if you're in the country, there is no tariff. If you're out of the country, you got to pay tariffs. And
Those
that's gonna
tariffs,
be a
they'll get
great
you.
investment, I think.
They'll get you, guys.
I know
They'll
it's
get you.
gonna be a great investment. But we have to be able to get people in the country, and we want people that are productive people. And I will tell you, the people that can pay $5 million, they're going to create jobs. They're going to spend a lot of money on jobs. They're going to have to pay taxes on that, too.
They
So
got to
they're
pay
gonna be hiring
taxes.
people. They're gonna be
Again,
bringing
guys, if you're
people
watching
in
this
and
live,
companies
drop
in.
those comments down below. I
And
think I
don't know,
got chat
maybe
turned
it
on for
will
everybody. Let me check
sell
real
like
quick.
crazy. I happen to think it's gonna
Yeah,
sell
anyone
like
can leave a
crazy. It's
comment,
bargain.
so
But,
if you guys got something to
we'll know
say,
fairly soon. I
positive,
think,
negative,
Howard and Scott.
Drop it in
you
the chat.
Really are responsible
talk about
for
it.
But Howard, if you want to discuss
curious.
that for a couple of minutes, I think I'd like to have you. I think it's going to be a very successful program. This is
Sure.
commerce.
So the EB-5 program, which has been around for many years.
This is about the gold card,
had
everybody. The
investment
gold
of
card, the
$1
Trump
million
gold card.
into projects in America. And those
$5 million
projects were
gold
often
card.
Suspect, they didn't really work out. There wasn't any oversight of it. And so for $1 million investment, you got a visa, and then you came into the country. And
Also,
and
guys, do me a
everything
favor,
was
smash
covered.
that
So
like
it was
button.
poorly overseen,
It helps us rank higher
poorly
in the
executed.
algorithm.
Then you had our
Get the
border
word
open
out.
where millions of people came through. So the idea is we will have a proper business. We will modify the EB-5 agreement. Christy and I are working on it together. For $5 million, they'll get a license from the Department of Commerce. Then they'll make a proper investment on the EB-5, right? And we think Scott and I will design the EB-5
I think that's a good idea.
investment model, because Scott and I are the best
I think that's a real good
people
idea.
together to do that. So this is joint. This
We
is
could- we
exactly
could
the
get
Trump
a lot of money
administration.
to
We
help
all
pay
work
down the
together.
debt.
We work it out to be the best. And if we sell, just remember, 200,000. There's a line for EB-5 of 250,000 right now. 200,000 of these gold green cards.
250,000 people already want one.
$1 trillion to pay down our debt. And that's why the president is doing it, because we are going to balance this budget, and we are going to pay off
So there's
debt
250,000
under
people
President
already
Trump.
waiting to buy this gold card. And
And
if we just sell 200,000 of them,
No, because
that's
not
$1
only
trillion
people will be job-
we make
they'll be successful
that we can use to
people,
pay down the
there'll
debt.
be people that were hired from colleges, like sort of like paying an athlete a bonus. I mean, Apple or one of the companies will go out and they'll spend they'll buy 5 of them, and they're going to get 5 people. Look, I've had the complaint from a lot of companies where they go out to hire people.
Genius,
and they can't
guys.
hire 'em
This is
because
a genius
colleges, you know
move.
what they do? They go back
Okay,
to
this is
India,
genius.
Or they go back to the country where they came, and they open up.
We got 22 people watching, guys. Can we get 22
And
likes
they-
on this
they
video?
become
We gotta
billionaires.
we
They
gotta get
become-
to the
and they're
top
employing
so we can get more
thousands
people
of
in
thou-
here,
There are a lot of examples.
so we
There are
can
some really
get the
big
word out
examples
about
where
all this
they
good
were
stuff that's
forced
happening
out
right
of
now.
the country, they
Because
graduated
there's some
top of
Debbie
their
Downers
class
out
at
there. They're like, oh,
grade
Trump's
school,
doing a bad
and they
job.
weren't able to
Guys,
stay. This is
share this
all
video
the
with
time
him.
you hear it.
He's clearly not,
The biggest
okay?
complaint I get from companies, other than over-regulation,
I think he's doing a good
which we
job.
care, but we're gonna
Am
have
I
to
the only
take
one
care
that
of
thinks
it
he's
here,
doing a
because
good
lot of
job?
that was
Let me know in the
put back
comment
on by
section.
Biden. But
Let me know.
The biggest complaint is the fact that they can't
Refresh the
have any
page real quick.
longevity with people. This way they have pretty much unlimited longevity. Also with the 5 million, you know,
He's doing
that's
a
path to
fantastic job.
citizenship. So that's going to be.
He's doing a
it's
good
sort of
job.
Green card plus, and it's a path to citizenship. We're gonna
I'm
call
telling
it
you, this
the
Trump gold card,
and I think it's going
This
to be
is
very
good.
treasured. I think it's going to do very well.
This is
And we're
good.
going to start selling hopefully in about 2 weeks. Now,
in a
just so
couple
you
weeks, we're going to
understand,
start making
if
some
we,
dough,
sell
boys.
$1 million, right? $1 million.
$1 million.
That's $5 trillion.
If we
$5
sell 1
trillion.
million gold
Howard
cards,
was using a different number, but that's $5
Dang,
trillion.
bro.
If we sell 10
And people are
million,
gonna
which is
laugh.
possible, 10 million highly productive people coming.
they're
in,
going to laugh and be
or
like, this
people
gold
that are
card
gonna
thing's
make
never going
productive.
to
They'll
never
be
going to
young,
work.
but they're
No.
talented, like a
It's going to
talented
work, guys.
athlete.
Okay, there's a lot of
$50 trillion
There's a lot of
That means our
companies
debt
that
is
want to
totally
come
paid
in
off, and
to
we
the
have
U.S.,
$15
but there's just so
trillion
much
above
paperwork
that.
and the process takes
And,
forever.
I don't know that we're gonna
You
sell
pay
that
$5
many.
million
We won't
bucks. If
sell
you're a
many
company
at
that
all.
has a lot of money, you
I
pay
think we're
$5
gonna
million
sell a
bucks.
lot,
You get in
because
here.
I think there really is a thirst.
You
No
get
other
in here and you
country can do
start
this 'cause people don't wanna
creating
go to other
jobs,
countries. They
selling
wanna come here.
product.
Everybody wants to come here, especially since
It's a good idea.
November 5th.
Let's look at the poll we got in the chat. So far, I asked the question, is Trump doing a good job? We got 5 votes. 60% of you say yes, Trump is doing a good job, and 40% say no, he is not.
Well, I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond.
If you don't think
very
he's doing a
much.
good
We're
job,
gonna
let me know
have
why in the
Europe
comment
because
section.
it's in, you know, we're
I
talking about
dare ya.
Europe is their
I
next door
dare you to
neighbor.
post a comment.
But we're going to make sure everything goes well. And as
That's
you
a lot
know,
of
we'll be
reporters.
making
And that is a
we'll
very
be
big table.
Really partnering with Ukraine in terms of rare earth. We very much need rare earth. They have great rare earth. We'll be working with.
I think the
Secretary
idea with Ukraine
Burgum
to get like their rare earth minerals, like to drill for oil and stuff,
and we're going to be able to have
and get like
tremendous-
copper,
I mean, this
all
goes
that
because
crap
we
out of the
don't have that
ground
much
to help
here.
us pay
We
back
have
the money
some,
that we
but
sent
don't have
Ukraine.
that
I think
much.
that's a good
We need
idea.
a lot more to
I think that's a good
really
idea.
propel us to the next level of to lead in every way. We're leading right
Juiced,
now
he's
with
not,
AI.
and I
We're
don't
leading
owe
with
you
everything
an
right
explanation.
now.
Okay,
We have to-
Juiced.
We need resources.
Yeah, we
We
just
have
got a
to double
subscriber.
our electric capacity. We have to do
Who was
many
that? Who
things.
was
We have
that?
to
Who was that?
really
That was
triple if you
Kyle
think of
just
it,
subscribed. Thank
the
you, Kyle,
electric
for
capacity
subscribing.
From what we have right now, if you can
Just
believe it.
HP
So-
doesn't think
so
Trump is doing a
I
good
just
job,
said this,
and he doesn't
so
think we need an
the
explanation. That's
deal we're
fine. That's
making
fine.
Gets us,
Haters
it
gonna hate.
brings us great wealth. We get
It's
back
okay.
the money
It's
that
okay.
we've spent, and
We're gonna
we
make
hope
America
that,
great again for you,
we're
man.
gonna be able
It's
to
all
settle
good. It's
this
all good.
up.
Hunter,
We
how you
wanna
doing, Hunter?
settle it. We want to stop. I tell you what, I'm doing it for 2 reasons, but the number one reason by far is to
Can we
watch
get some
all
hashtag
these people
MAGA
being killed. I see
in the
pictures
chat?
every week
Hashtag
from,
MAGA,
I assume,
everybody. I'm gonna
satellite
post my own
pictures
comment.
mostly, but there's some pictures on
Hashtag
site
MAGA in the
of
chat,
thousands
boys.
of soldiers that are
Post
being
my own
killed,
comment
that are
right
being
here.
decimated.
Hashtag
Because equipment today, military
MAGA.
equipment is so
Boom.
powerful and so devastating. And number one, I want to see people stop. And they're not from here, they're from primarily
When
2 other
Trump,
countries. And then, by the
during
way,
like
let's
his
talk about
first
the Middle
couple
East.
of
We have solved that
debates,
problem
he
too.
was
And
like,
that's
I
come
want
a
to
long way.
stop
We're doing
people from
very well
dying
on
in
that
Ukraine.
also.
People are like,
A lot
well,
of
we got to
things
win
are
the war.
happening
We got to
on
win the
that.
war. How are we going to win the
But
war?
I'm
He's like, I want to
watching,
just stop the war.
soldiers
How about we do
being
that?
killed,
Because nobody wins in a war.
Ukrainian and Russian soldiers being killed. My
Hunter
number
says
one thing is
hashtag
to
MAGA.
get
That's
that
what I'm talking
stopped.
about,
My
man.
number 2 thing is I don't want to have to pay any more money because Biden has spent $350 billion without any chance of getting it back. Now we're going to
We
be
sent
getting
Ukraine
all of that money
$350
back,
billion.
plus a lot
Dang.
more. And we provided a great thing. I mean, we
Dang.
provided something very important, and we'll be working with Ukraine, and because we'll be taking that, we're going to be taking what we're entitled to take. Now,
Do you guys need me to turn up the volume, turn down the volume? Let me know in the comment section. I can turn up the video if it's not loud enough.
Now, does
Just let me know.
anybody really think that's fair? But then we find out a little while ago, not so long ago, a few months ago, I found out that the money they spent, they get back. But the money we spent, we don't get back. I said, well, we're going to get it back.
We're going to get it back, boys. We're
And
getting that money
we'll be
back.
able to make a deal. And again, President Zelensky's coming to sign the deal. And it's a great thing. It's a great deal for Ukraine, too, because they get us over there. We're going to be working over there. We'll be on the land. And, you know, in that way, there's sort of
We're getting
automatic
stuff
security
done.
because nobody's going to
Stuff
be
done.
messing around with our people when we're there. And so we'll be there in that way. But Europe will be watching it very closely. I know that UK has said, and
See,
France
Trump
has
is a
said
businessman,
that they want to
ladies
put-
and
they
gentlemen.
volunteered to put
Business.
so-called peacekeepers on the site.
It's about
and I think
making
that's
that
a good
money,
thing.
paying down the debt, making America great again. Okay, that's what it's about. Some of these ideas might work, some of them might not work, but at least we're trying. What did Biden do? Jack
Well, I think
squat.
that
The reason we
consumer
got
confidence and
in a
public
war with
confidence in the
Russia
nation
in
is the
Ukraine
biggest
was
increase
because
in
of
the history
Biden,
of the
because he wanted them to
chart.
join NATO.
It went up
And
42 points.
man, moron.
In a period of like days after the election, since the election.
Gertie 434,
So
what up?
Since the election, the confidence in our nation, including right track.
How you doing,
wrong track,
Gordy?
The first time it's ever happened where.
Make
we're
sure you
on the
guys
right
vote
track.
on that
This country's
poll
been
in the
on
chat.
wrong track
How many
for a
votes we
long
got? We got
time.
8 votes so far.
So, the
50%
confidence
say
in
Trump's
business,
doing a good job.
confidence in the
50%
country's
say
reached an
no.
all-time high.
It's half and half.
We have never reached levels like we are right now. Okay.
It's half and half right now.
Mr. President, you've been very clear in saying
If you don't think Trump's doing a good job, let me know why in the comment section. If you do think he's doing a good job,
is it also your policy that
or if you got one thing that you really like that he's been doing, let me know in the comments.
I never comment on that. I don't.
Yeah, I was playing
comment on
Fortnite before this
because
stream.
I don't ever put myself in that position. And if I said it, I certainly wouldn't be saying it to you. I'd be saying it to other people, maybe people around this table, and very specific people around this table. So I don't want to put myself in that position. But I can tell you what, I have a great relationship with President Xi. I've had a great relationship with him. We want them to come in and invest. I see so many things saying that we don't want China in this country. That's not right. We want them to invest in the United States. That's good. That's a lot of money coming in, and we'll invest in China. We'll do things with China. The relationship we'll have with China will be
Also,
a very
guys, do
good
me a
one.
favor. Hit
I
that
see
thumbs
all
up
of these
button
phony
if you're
reports
enjoying
that
the
we don't
stream.
want their
If you want to see
money, we don't
more
want anything
streams
to do
like
with them.
this,
That's wrong. We're going to have a good relationship
help us
with
get to the
China,
top
but they won't be able to
so we
take
can reach more
advantage of
people,
us.
spread the
What
word.
they did to Biden was
Because there's a lot of Debbie Downers
didn't
out
know
there
what was
saying Trump's
happening.
not
He
doing
didn't know what he
anything.
was
He's doing
doing.
crazy
The
things. I don't think any of this
administration
stuff he
didn't know
said
what
is
they were
crazy.
doing. It was very
That's
sad
just
to
me.
watch.
Nothing
We're
he's
gonna
been
have a
doing
good
seems crazy to me.
relationship with China and Russia and Ukraine and the Middle East. We're doing things that, look, when I left, we had no wars. We had defeated ISIS
True.
totally.
It's true.
We had no inflation. We didn't have the Afghanistan withdrawal, the worst withdrawal anybody's ever seen. I think that's one of the reasons that President Putin looked at that. He said,
Haven't
wow,
seen me in
these
like a
guys
year.
are
It has
paper
been a year,
tiger.
man.
We're
I've been
no
streaming.
paper tiger. Don't forget, we got rid of ISIS in 3 weeks. People said it would take 5 years. We did it because when I came in, I let
We get
them
it done,
do what they had
boys.
to do.
Look
And
at the
man that
receipts.
headed that operation is now
He was
going to
president
be
for 4
your-
years and we got
your
stuff
chairman,
done.
right? Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. And Raisin Kane. I liked him right from the beginning. As soon as I heard his name, I said, "That's my guy."
Oh, yeah, John. Your
Okay.
username
Any
looks
other
familiar.
questions?
Decreases in crossings at the border due to continue the pause on tariffs against Mexico and Canada.
Thank you for the heart in the
I'm
chat.
not stopping the tariffs. No, millions of people.
Let's
have-
up the
have
tariffs,
died
boys.
because
If
of
they
the
want to tax
fentanyl that
us, we're going
comes
to tax
over the
them.
border.
With the 90% drop in border crossings, though,
Well,
this
that's-
last
well,
month compared to
And we're securing the
Yeah,
border.
they've been good, but that's also
We're doing
good
it.
to us,
Like,
mostly
we've done
good to
more.
us. I mean,
This
it's
administration
very
has done
hard-
more
it's
in
right
a
now
month,
very hard
in
to
1
come to the
month,
border, but
than Biden did
the
in
damage-
4
look,
years.
the damage has
I mean,
been
Biden
done.
did a lot
We've
of
lost
crap. Biden
millions
did a
of
lot of
people
stuff
due
that
to
would just
fentanyl. It comes
screwed
mostly
America
from
over.
China, but it comes through
But now we're turning it
Mexico,
back
it comes
around.
through Canada.
Big mess to clean up, and we're
I
getting
have
we're
to
getting
tell
through
you
it.
that, on April
We're getting rid of
2nd,
government
I was gonna do it
jobs
on
that we
April
don't
1st, but I'm a
need.
little bit superstitious.
We're going to be
I did
nimble.
it
We're going to be
April
quick.
2nd.
We're going to be
The tariffs go on.
we're going to be doing it.
Not all of them,
Doing
but a
it,
lot of
boys.
them. And I think you're going to see
And we're only a
something
month
that's
in.
going to be amazing.
Only a
We've
month.
been taken advantage of as a country for a long period of time. We've been tariffed, but we didn't tariff. Now, I did when I was here. I tariffed.
'Cause you don't
took
mess
in
with America,
$700
boys.
billion from
You
China.
don't mess with
700
America.
billion. Not one president in the history of our country took in 10
The
cents
adults are
from
back
China.
in the room. All
At
right.
the same time, China respected us.
Common
Now,
sense is back.
when COVID came in, that was a different deal. I used to call it the China virus. I guess I can call it the China virus again, but it's an accurate term.
We
but
still
I
got
won't
8
do that
votes.
out of respect to China.
Guys, vote on that poll in the chat. It's like 44, 56 right now. 44% say Trump is doing a good job, and 56%
Well,
say
I'm very
Trump is doing a
disappointed
bad
when I see
job.
four bodies
Now it's
came
at
in
50-50
today.
again.
These are young people.
Everybody in the
don't
chat,
die,
everybody watching,
okay?
vote on that
Young
poll.
people don't die. These are young people. 4 bodies.
And if you
came in
don't think
today.
Trump's doing a good job, let me know why in the
They
comment
think they're
section.
doing us a
I'm
favor
curious.
By sending us bodies. So, look, that's a decision has to be made by Israel.
Because his approval
maybe-
ratings are pretty high right
but,
now.
Israel
So
has to make that decision. We got a lot of hostages back. but it's
apparently,
very sad what happened
majority of
last week.
Americans
I mean,
think
you had a
Trump's
young
doing
lady
an
with her
okay
hand
job.
Practically blown off.
I mean, I don't know.
You
I
know
don't
why
know.
it blew up? Because she put up her hand to try and stop a bullet that was coming her way. And it hit her hand and blew off her fingers, big part of her head.
Excuse me.
This is a
Got the
vicious
hiccups.
group of people. And Israel's
If you're
gonna
just
have to
popping in,
decide
guys,
what
we
they're
are
doing.
reacting to the
Phase
first
1 is gonna be
official
ended.
President Trump
Think of
cabinet
it, today
meeting
they sent in 4
on
bodies.
February
Bodies.
26, 2025. This is his
And I
first
will
cabinet
say
meeting,
one
and that
thing,
is a
though,
giant table.
I've spoken to a lot of the parents and a lot of the people involved. They want those bodies almost as much and maybe even just as much as they wanted their son or their daughter. Amazing. Please, sir, please, my son is dead, but they have his body. Please, can you get it for us? It's the biggest thing.
And a lot of people didn't
It's-
even know
it's
this
incredible, the
cabinet
level.
meeting
If you
happened
watch
because
the
a lot of the
bodies
fake
these
news
people,
out
they're
there,
dead. They're
they
dead.
just ignore it.
And when I saw the
But we're not
maybe
ignoring
2
it,
weeks
boys.
ago,
We're not
They look
ignoring
like
it.
They just got out of a concentration
This
camp.
is
Then
from the
following week,
official
people
White
came in and they
House
weren't
YouTube
as
channel.
bad,
So,
as bad
White
as
House,
bad.
if you're watching this,
But
please
Israel's
don't
gonna have to make a decision.
flag my
You're right,
channel for
phase one
anything.
and now phase two is
Don't
starting.
ban me. Okay.
And,
We're just spreading the word.
Today we got some.
They'll understand.
Very, very sick. We knew they were dead, by the way. We knew that they were
Ashish
gonna be bodies as
Jang.
opposed to
How you
people
doing,
that were
Ashish?
living.
Ashish?
But,
Am I pronouncing that
very sad
right?
situation.
We got Gertie434 in the
Somebody's
chat.
gonna
We got
say,
Hunter
"We gotta do
McGill
something
in the
about
chat.
this."
Juiced HP in the chat. If you guys are watching, drop a comment down below so I can give you a shout out.
Generals or command staff that were involved with the withdrawal.
Hashtag MAGA.
Well, that's a great idea. I'm not going to tell this man what to do, but I will say that if I had his place, I'd fire every single one of them, Pete. That's a very good question.
Well, it's a question we've thought a lot about. We're doing a complete review of every single aspect of what happened with the botched withdrawal of Afghanistan and plan to have full accountability. It's one of the first things we announced at the Defense Department for that reason, sir. Certainly, General Raisin Kane, who's on his way in, was not a part of that. Instead, was a part of leading the effort against ISIS by untying the hands of warfighters and finishing the job properly and then bringing our troops home. So we're taking a very different view, obviously, than the previous administration, and there will be full accountability.
I don't see big promotions in that group, and I think they're going to be largely gone. I know the man on my left. I think they're going to be largely gone. That was a horrible display, and you know I've dealt with the parents and the family of the 13 that were killed, but you know nobody ever talks about the 40 that were so badly hurt with the arms and the legs and the face and the whole thing, the missing arms and legs.
The way we
It
got
was
out of
so
Afghanistan,
terrible the way
that
handled.
was,
And it should have been
oh
gone through
man, that
Congress.
was pathetic.
We have a big base with big fences and nobody can get in.
So now
and
we're
you have,
actually looking
you
into
know,
what
hundreds of
happened.
acres instead of a little
Because
local
if
airport
that was
where the
planned, that
whole
was bad
place went
plan.
Crazy. That was so badly handled, and I would think that most of those people are going to be gone.
Are we gonna take Bagram back?
So I'll tell you what has bothered me very much, very, very much. We give billions of dollars to Afghanistan. Nobody knows that. Nobody knew that. Do you know we give billions of dollars to Afghanistan? And yet we left behind all of that equipment, which wouldn't have happened. You know, we were getting out under me. I'm the one that got it down to 5,000 people. We were going to get out, but we were going to keep Bagram, not because of Afghanistan, but because of China, because it's exactly 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear missiles. So we're going to keep Bagram. We were going to keep a small
I was playing
force on
Fortnite, man.
Bagram. We're going to have Bagram Air Base.
I was playing
One of
Fortnite
the
for like 2
biggest air
hours
bases in the
before
world,
this.
One of the biggest runways, one of the most powerful runways in the sense
But I
that
think
it was
it's
very heavy
I think it's
concrete
important to know
and
what's
steel.
going
You
on in
could
the
carry
world,
about
you know?
anything. You could land anything on those runways.
Because
We
stuff's
gave it
happening.
up, and, you know, it was
Stuff's
occupying
happening
at
out
that
there.
time, China. Biden gave it up. So we're going to keep that. and
I
we're
like
gonna
to know
have
what's
a,
going on out there,
withdrawal,
you know?
and we're going to take our equipment. We're going to do it properly. We're going to do it we're going to keep the equipment. Well, they ran out. It was, what happened there was, in fact, you know, in all fairness to Putin, when he saw that, he said, well, this is our time to go into Ukraine, I guess, because the timing seemed to be about right. But we send them billions of dollars in aid.
Junior Plays,
Which
what up,
nobody
man?
knows. If the American public knew that, they know it
Junior,
now.
are you not a fan of
If we're doing
Trump?
that, I think they should give our equipment back. And I told Pete to study that. But we
got 13
billions,
votes
tens of
on the
billions of
poll
dollars
in the
worth of
chat.
equipment behind brand new trucks. You see them
38%
display it
say
every
yes,
year on
Trump's
there.
doing a good
Little
job.
roadway
62%
someplace where they
say
have a
no,
road,
Trump is
and
doing
they
a
drive
bad
it, you know,
job.
waving the flag and talking
Post
about
in the
America.
chat. Vote on the
Beautiful
poll
equipment
if you're
that's,
watching.
all
We got like
I mean,
19
the
people
top of the
watching. We
line
only got
stuff.
13
Brand
votes. So
new
if you're
stuff.
watching,
Now it's getting
go
older.
vote.
But you know what? We're going to pay them. I think we
Also,
should
guys,
get
do me a
lot of that
favor. Hit that
equipment
like
back. You know
button.
that
Let's get to
Afghanistan
like
is
20
one of the
likes. Can we get to
biggest
20
sellers of
likes?
military equipment in the world. You know why? They're selling the equipment that we left. We're first. They were second or third. Can you believe it? They're selling 777,000 rifles, 70,000 armor-plated. Many of them were armor-plated trucks and vehicles. 70,000.
It's paused.
If you think of a used car lot, the biggest one in the country, if I would say, JD, if somebody had 500 cars, that
He's
would
not
be a
even.
lot.
Wait.
This is
Why is it?
70,000 vehicles we had.
Why is it? One second.
And
One
we
second.
left it
You're
for
right.
them. I think we should get it back.
Why is it paused?
To cut $2 trillion.
Right.
Hold up, guys. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. They're trying to take my stream down. Probably trying to take my stream down. One second, let me refresh this.
You think of a used car lot.
Why is it not, one second.
The biggest one in the country. If I would say, JD, if somebody had 500 cars, that would be
Why
a
the
lot.
heck is it,
This is 70.
did it just pause? Was it playing up until that point? They're trying to take it down, guys. They're trying to take me down. Let me see. One second. Yeah, why is it? One second. If I minimize. Yeah, it's not even. Let me see. Deactivate. Activate. Okay, I think maybe I fixed it. We're back, boys. We're back. We're back. Here we go.
left it for them. I think we should get it back.
If you're just popping in, this is the official video from the White House of President Trump's first cabinet meeting on February 26, 2025. Thank you for pointing that out, man, that the video was paused. My apologies, guys.
Read my lips.
You got to let me know if it happens. You got to let me know.
We're not going to touch it. Now, we are going to look for fraud. I'm sure you're okay with that, like people that shouldn't be on.
Who would I
that
vote for
are
in 2028? Probably
others,
his
criminals
VP.
in many cases, and that's with Social Security. We have a lot of people. You see
Unless
that
somebody else
immediately
pops
when
up.
You see people that are 200 years old that are being sent checks for Social Security. Some of them are actually being sent checks. So we're tracing that down, and I have a feeling that Pam is going to do a very good job with that. But you have a lot of fraud. But no, I'm not. We're not doing anything on this.
Mr. President, part of your mission, sir, part of your mission has been, thank you, I'm sorry. Part of your mission has been to restore executive control.
Can we hit 20 likes, guys? Can we get to 20 likes on this video?
That you have the power to call up any one of or all of the people seated at this table and issue orders that they're bound to follow.
Oh, yeah, they'll follow the orders. Yes, they will.
No exceptions.
No exception. Well, let's see. Let me think. Oh, yeah. She'll have an exception. Of course, no exceptions. You know that.
Mr. President, can you clarify the Canada-Mexico tariffs? You had put that 30-day pause.
Yeah.
You just referred to
25%.
25%. When does it go into effect?
April 2nd.
April 2nd for Canada-Mexico.
Correct. And for everything.
Well, we have the fentanyl-related is a pause. If they can prove to the president they've done an excellent job, that's what they first do in 30 days.
Have you guys seen any
But then the
change?
overall is April 2nd.
Wow.
So the big transactions.
Okay, there we
April
go.
2nd.
I thought it paused again.
Fentanyl-related things. They're working hard on the border. At the end of that 30 days, they have to prove.
We're
to the
getting stuff
president
done,
that
boys.
they've
We're getting stuff
satisfied
done.
him to that regard, if they have,
It's gonna be
then
hard
he'll
to
give them a pause, or he won't.
It's
But
going
that's
to be
up to
hard to
him. We'll see.
satisfy. We lose 300,000 people a year to fentanyl. Not 100, not 95, not 60 like you read. You know, you've been reading it for years. We lost, in my opinion, over the last couple of years, on average, maybe close to 300,000 people dead.
We're stopping all the
And
drugs
the
coming
families
in.
are ruined. You know, when they lose a daughter, when they lose a son, the families are never the same. You're never going to be the same. So you're talking about 1 million people. But when the daughters die, I see it, daughters die and the sons die because of fentanyl. And in some cases, I don't even know they're taking it. They're buying something else and it's laced with fentanyl and they end up dying. And I've known many people who've lost children to fentanyl and for other reasons, but to fentanyl.
Does anybody watching think it's a bad
those
thing
people are
to
never
keep
the same
drugs
people.
from coming into
I mean, I've
America?
seen
Does
people that-
does anybody think that's a bad
for
thing
the rest
to
of
not
their
have
lives
them
and have
come
same
across the
people.
border?
They're so different. It's not even
Anybody?
believable. Dynamic people, happy people they die a miserable death. And that's because of the crap that comes in through China and through Mexico and through Canada. A lot of it comes
We
through
have,
Canada.
how many
Canada-
votes we got? I think we got 15 votes.
We support Canada.
Is Trump doing a good
$200
job?
billion
33% no.
in
No, 33%
subsidies one way or
say
the other.
yes,
We
he
let him
is,
make
and
millions of
67%
cars.
say no, he's
We let
not
him
doing a good job.
Send us lumber. We don't need their lumber. We're going to free up our lumber. Lee's
Also,
gonna
guys,
do
let's
that.
get to 20
That'll be
likes on this
environmental.
video.
We're gonna
Like
free up our
spike.
lumber. We have the best lumber there is.
Smash
We don't
that
need
like
their
button.
lumber. What do we need their lumber for? When you look at we subsidize them $200 billion a year. Without us, Canada can't make it. You know, Canada relies on us 95%. We rely on them 4%. Big difference. And I say Canada should be our 51st state. There's no tariffs, no nothing. And I say that we give them military protection. They have a very small military. They spend very little money on military. On NATO, they're just about last in terms of payment, because they say, why should we spend on military? That's a tremendous cost. Most nations can't afford to even think about it. Why should we spend on military? The United States protects us.
Kraken Lunar
I would
says
say
if Trump and
that's
Elon are
awesome.
honest, I think it's generally good what he is
It's
doing,
not
but
fair.
separating
It's not
kids
fair
and
that
from their
they're not
parents is a
paying
huge
their
sadness
way.
and horrible.
And if they had to pay their way, they couldn't exist. When
Well,
I
he said
spoke
the parents
to,
and the, he's going to deport both of them.
let's call it
He's
the
not going
prime
to separate them.
minister rather than the governor.
He's not going to
But
separate the
when I spoke
families.
to him,
Like, if they came in
I said,
illegally, they're
"Why
going
are we
to
giving you
both be
$200 billion
gone.
a year?" He was unable to answer the
So we're gonna
question.
keep 'em
I said,
together
why are we letting you make
and get 'em out.
millions of cars and send them in? He was unable to answer the question. Justin Trudeau.
You can't just
Nice
skip
guy. I think
the
he's a very
line
good
to
guy.
get
We
into
call him
America.
Governor
There's a
Trudeau. He should be
process.
governor
You got to do
because
it legally.
The fact is that if we don't give them cars,
We want people to come
we
in,
don't have to
but
give
we
them
want
cars.
them to
Tariffs
come in
will make it
legally.
impossible for them to sell cars into the United
So like
States.
the guy in
The
charge of the
tariffs
border,
will
he
make
said
it
we're not going to
impossible
separate
for
families.
them
Like,
to
we're going to
sell
keep them together
lumber
and they're going to
or
go.
anything else into the United States. And all I'm asking to do is break even or lose a little bit, but not lose $200 billion. And we love Canada. I love Canada. I love the people of Canada. And but honestly, it's not fair for us to be supporting Canada. And if we don't support them, they don't subsist as a nation. Okay?
Mr. President, on the EU tariffs, Mr. President, have you made a decision on what level you will seek on tariffs in the European Union?
We have made a decision. We'll be announcing it very soon, and it'll be 25%, generally speaking, and that'll be on cars and all of the things. And European Union is a different case than Canada, different kind of case. They've really taken advantage of us in a different way. They don't accept our cars. They don't accept essentially our farm products. They use all sorts of
Smash that
reasons
like
why
button,
not.
guys. Let's get
And we
to
accept everything
15
of them, and
likes.
we have about a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. Now, I love the countries of Europe. I guess I'm from there at some point. a long
17
time
votes
ago,
so far.
but,
41% say Trump's doing a good job.
pretty directly,
59% say he's
but I
not
love
doing a
the
good job.
countries of Europe. I love all countries, frankly, all different. But European Union's been, it was formed in order to screw the United States. I mean, look, let's be honest. The European Union was formed in order to screw the United States. That's the purpose of it. And they've done a good job of it, but now I'm president.
What will happen if these countries where the EU retaliate?
They can't. I mean, they can try, but they can't.
China did, they
They're
imposed
pledging to,
tariffs
sir.
that went into effect. China's
That's
retaliatory
right,
tariffs
that's
on
right, but-
the 10th of February. Has there been any
That's
impact
right.
that you've been able to observe?
That's right. Now, they can do it, and they can try, but the numbers can never equal what ours, because we can go off. We are the pot of gold. We're the one that everybody wants, and they can retaliate, but it cannot be a successful retaliation, because we just go cold turkey. We don't buy anymore, and if that happens, we win.
Are you talking to Eric Prince about privatizing deportations?
No, I haven't. I
Mr.
haven't.
President, you're in litigation with CBS News. Is this a case that you'd like to see go to trial, or are you open?
With who?
CBS, the 60
CBS?
Whoops, what did I just do?
Well, CBS did something that was amazing. Kamala was unable to answer a question properly, and they took the question that they asked and they inserted an answer. They gave her an answer. This was 2 days before the election, right before the Sunday night before the election. And they wrote out.
Chronic says we will never become the
put
51st state,
her words,
51st through
from
63rd,
another
however.
question that was asked about a half an hour later, and they put that into the question. Nobody's ever even heard of it before. Nobody's ever heard of anything like this before, but they then did it, they say, on numerous occasions.
I'm going to put your guys' chat
And
in.
the FCC is looking at it very strongly, and everybody's looking at it, but nobody's ever seen anything. Think of it, they took her answers and they changed them. And I don't mean they changed a word or two, or they cut off a half a sentence, or they cut off a couple
There you
of
go.
words. I mean, I've had that
Now your
happen
chats
too,
are
but
in
that
the-
is just saying, then
in
they
the
say, well, we
screen
want
there.
brevity. We wanted to do it for time. They took out her answer, and they inserted an entirely different answer that made her sound competent. And they did this, and nobody's ever, I thought I've heard of everything when it comes to that stuff. No, I've never heard of it. Nobody's ever seen. So we sued, and we are in discussions of settlement.
What would a number be like? What's a number that you would?
I think it's a lot. No, I mean, it could have, it probably did affect the election. I mean, we won by a lot. As I said, too big to rig, but it probably did affect the election. You know, probably could have won by more, but I could have lost the election because of that.
Drop those comments, guys.
We have to get
If you're
to honest
watching,
elections.
drop the
We have
comments
to go
down
back to
below.
paper ballots. We have to go
Drop
back
them
to
down
voter
below.
ID, one-day election ideally, or short term, not these 48-day and 61-day elections where boxes are put in a room and, oh, let's move the boxes because we're putting in a new air conditioning system. Then you see the boxes move, and then you say, well, where are all the boxes? You know, what happened to the boxes?
Oh, I turned
that
on
never
the
came back?
subtitles.
Now, our elections are
If you're just tuning in, guys,
extremely
this is the
we're the only
first
country in the
Trump
world that has
cabinet
mail-in
meeting
voting and all of
on
these
February
different things
26,
that we put in. No
2025.
other country in the world has it.
First
You know,
one.
France went to
Very big
they had
table.
some of the things that we had, and they went to same-day voting. All paper.
They have a
And, you know,
very
paper's
big
very
table.
Sophisticated now. It's a very sophisticated form of voting right now. It's a very safe form of voting. You know, the other things for the governors, I wish the governors would do it because the paper ballots will cost 9% of the machines, and they're 100%. You know, nothing's foolproof, but they're as close as you get. So we'll see what happens. But on the 60-minute thing, nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Would you link the FCC action to the litigation and
And I don't think it's linked, but probably the lawyers look at it, you know, because I know it's going along. FCC is headed by a very competent person, and you have some very competent people on the board, and so I think they're looking at it very seriously.
So of all the deals that you've done in your life, all the people you've sat across from and negotiated with, is President Putin distinct in any way?
He's a very smart guy. He's a very cunning person, but I've dealt with some people I've dealt with some really bad people. But I will tell you, as far as this is concerned, you have to understand, he had no intention, in my opinion, of settling this war. I think he wanted the whole thing. When I got elected, we spoke, and I think we're going to have a deal. I can't guarantee that.
Thank
know,
you,
a deal is a deal.
SAN
Lots of crazy
Kratos,
things happen
for
in deals,
subscribing.
right? But I think we're going to have a deal. If I
Thank
didn't
you,
get
Kratos.
elected,
You rock,
I
man.
believe he would have just continued to go through.
And shout out to
Ukraine
everybody else
over a
that's hit
period
that
of time.
subscribe button. I appreciate it.
A lot of people would
Also,
have been
shout out
killed.
to the channel
would have
members.
lasted
Thank you
for
for
a
hitting the
period of
join
time.
button, helping support
reason
the
that
channel, helping keep my
Ukraine- and
internet
I have great
bill paid,
respect
because
for
without internet, I could
Ukraine
not do these
as
live
fighters.
streams.
They're great fighters.
So thank
But
you guys for
without
joining
our
and
equipment,
becoming
that war
members
would have been over,
and
like
subscribing
people
as
said,
well.
in a very short
And
period
all
of
the
time.
likes and comments, I
If
appreciate
you
it.
remember, I gave the javelins, and the javelins are the things that knocked out those tanks right at the beginning of the war. They said that Obama at the time gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. Well, I was the one that did that, but I want to see it come to an end.
Will he have to make concessions, President Putin?
Yeah, he will. He's going to have to. And I believe that
We're going to get
because
that
we got
war
elected,
settled,
that war will come
boys.
to an end. And I also believe if we didn't get elected, if this administration didn't win the election by a lot, that war would go on for a long time, and he would want to take the whole thing. Because the big question I had is, does he want to take the whole thing? But the reason, and the Ukrainians are good fighters, I have to say, but without the equipment, without our equipment, we have the best equipment in the world. We have the best military equipment in the world. Without our equipment, that would have been over very quickly.
What concessions would you like to see? What concessions would you like to see?
Oh, I don't want to tell you right now, but I can tell you that NATO you can forget about. I think that's probably the reason the whole thing started. And I think, JD, we can say that. Do you have a statement on that? You've been very much involved. I gave him the beauty.
Great. Gave me the hardest question, sir. I mean, look, as the president said, we're not going to do the negotiation in public with the American media. He's going to do it in private with the president of Russia, with the president of Ukraine. Ukraine and with other leaders, and I think that's how this has to go. I think I just want to push back against some of the criticism I've seen of the administration on this, because every single
J.D.
time
Vance
the
knows his
president
stuff.
engages in diplomacy, you guys preemptively accuse him of conceding to Russia. He hasn't conceded anything to anyone. He's doing the job of a diplomat, and he is, of course, the diplomat in chief as the President of the United States.
On the gold cards, sir, can you talk a little bit more about the vetting process?
He'll go through a process. The process is being worked out right now, and we're going to be very careful.
Will there be restrictions on, for instance, can Chinese nationals get
No,
one,
we're not going to
Iranian
restrict.
nationals
We're
get-
probably not going to be restricting too much in terms of countries, but maybe in terms of individuals. We want to make sure we have people that love our country and are capable of loving the country.
There's a measles outbreak in Texas at the moment in which
It's a good idea. That gold card.
Do you have concerns about that, and have you asked Secretary Kennedy to look into that?
Well, why don't we, Bobby, do you want to speak on that? please?
We are following the measles epidemic every day. I think there's 124 people who have contracted measles at this point, mainly in Gaines County, Texas. Mainly, we're told, in the Mennonite community. There are 2 people who have died, but we're watching it, and there are about 20 people hospitalized, mainly for quarantine. We're watching it. We put out a post on it yesterday, and we're going to continue to follow it. Incidentally, there have been 4 measles outbreaks this year. In this country last year, there were 16. So it's not unusual. We have measles outbreaks every year.
You sound a little under the weather yourself.
I have a permanently bad throat.
Mr. President, would you send U.S. peacekeepers to support the European peacekeepers? Would you do any sort of U.S.
If you're just popping in, guys, we're watching the Trump cabinet
We're very
meeting
friendly
that
with
happened
Europe.
today.
We have a great relationship with Europe. I mean, you could ask.
Let me know what you
could
think about
talk
it in the comment section.
about
Also,
France, you
vote
could talk
on the
about
poll
any of
we
them.
got
have a
going in the
great
chat. I asked the
relationship
question,
with
is Trump doing a good job? We got 19 votes so far. 42% of you say yes, he is doing a good job, and 58% of you say no, he's not doing a good job. So vote on that poll if you haven't already.
That'll be the easiest problem, I think, JD, that we've ever had. We'll do it at the time, but peacekeeping is very easy. It's making the deal that's very tough. And again, nobody was speaking to Russia at all. And, probably 1.5 million soldiers have been killed, close to 1.5 million soldiers, not to mention I will tell you, the thing with that horrible war that should have never started would have never started if I were president. And it didn't start for 4 years, and it was not even thought about starting. But the thing with that war is that you're highly underestimating the number of people that have been killed. Far more people have been killed in that war than you talk about. You like to talk about numbers like 1 million people. Well, they had much more than 1 million soldiers killed. But you have a lot of cities that have been knocked to the ground. They're demolition sites, literally demolition sites. Every single building is knocked to the ground. And a lot of people were killed in those buildings. And you'll hear a report, 2 people were minorly injured or just injured a little bit. No, people were killed by the thousands. And there are a lot more people killed in that war than the media wants to talk about, because Biden did a horrible, horrible job. He should have prevented that war. He could have prevented that war. Putin would have never gone in. I'll tell you one thing. He would have never gone in. That war would never have taken place if I were president.
I think what people are trying to understand, Mr. President, is how would the United States, what would you be willing to do to support this European peacekeeping effort? Would there be...
Again, you're asking me the same question. How many times do you have to answer? You're talking about after we make peace. Let me make peace first. Once we make peace, I'll give you all the answers you want. But how many times can you ask the same question?
Is loosening of sanctions on...
Yeah, go ahead. It's behind.
Is loosening of sanctions on Russia a potential option as part of it?
Not now. No. We have sanctions on Russia. No, I want to see if we make a deal first, but I think we will. I've had very good conversations with President Putin. I've had very good conversations with President Zelensky, and until 4 weeks ago, nobody had conversations with anybody. It wasn't even a consideration. Nobody thought you could make peace. I think you can.
But if
Mr.
Mr.
President,
Putin gets to
just to
keep
bring
his,
this-
the land that was claimed by force, if the Russians get to keep the territory that they claim by force, doesn't that send a dangerous message, let's say, to China?
Oh, okay, you try and take it away, right? We're gonna do the best we can. We're gonna do the best we can to make the best deal we can for both sides, but for Ukraine. We're gonna try very hard to make a good deal so that they can get as much back as possible. We want to get as much back as possible.
Mr. President, just to bring this
We'll cut it out after maybe this question. Go ahead.
to bring this full circle.
Unless it's a
back
bad
to-
question, and then we'll get that
And
done.
back to-
You always like to finish on a good one.
Sir, they want you to negotiate with them instead of
I know.
President Putin.
They want to continue to talk about the peacekeepers. You have a lot of confidence in us because you assume there's going to be peace. You know, it's possible it doesn't work out. There is possibility. But I hope it does for the sake of humanity, because if you look at the pictures that I've looked at, you don't want to look at them. Go ahead.
I have a question back on these cuts to the federal workforce. You mentioned you're interested in doing another round of this email. When would you like to see that? What would be the deadline?
I'm not.
At this
I
time,
think Elon wants to, and I think it's a good idea because, you know, those people, as I said before, they're on the bubble. You got a lot of people that have not responded, so we're trying to figure out, do they exist? Who are they? And it's possible that a lot of those people will be actually fired. And if that happened, that's okay, because that's what we're trying to do. This country has gotten bloated and fat and disgusting and incompetently run.
Yep.
I think we had the worst president in the history of our country.
True,
He just left
true.
office. I think he's a disgrace, what he's done to our country by allowing millions of people to
Sorry,
come into our
Biden
country
fans,
like
but
that. And all of the other things, the inflation, which he caused because of energy and stupid spending, to spend hundreds of millions, trillions and trillions of dollars on the Green New scam, a total scam. I have the best energy people, the best environmental people in the world around this table, and they can't even believe he got away with it. And then in leaving office to send $20 billion here and $20 million there and 10 million and 5 million, and they couldn't spend the money fast enough, and let's get it out before Trump gets in, let's just get it out to anybody. And this is a disgrace to our nation, and you don't write the fair thing, but look,
And we're
you know,
fixing
the good
it.
news, the people see it, and that's why
We're
won the
fixing
election by
it.
so much. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it.
So there you go, guys. That was the first Trump cabinet meeting on February 26, 2025. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. And I'm also going to subscribe to the White House. I'm going to copy the link if you guys want to watch the video for yourself. Actually, I guess I can't post it. But it's the White House. Just look up the White House on YouTube and you will find the stream. But yeah, what did you guys think about the stream? I think they covered a lot. But I think we just keep cutting. Government's too big. Keep cutting the jobs. If people don't know how to respond to an email with 5 things that they accomplished in a week, then they probably shouldn't have their job. Just my opinion. Okay? Just my opinion. And some people are like, well, what if they have a sensitive job and it's like top secret stuff? Then just write in the email, cannot disclose this over email. It's sensitive. Top secret. At least respond. Post an emoji in the email. Something. But no, they can't even respond to it. Like, nah. You guys, they don't need their job. If you can't respond to the email, you don't need your job. Cut them out. Just axe it. Boom, gone. You know how much money we would save just by just getting rid of jobs that people don't need because they clearly aren't doing any work. If they can't even check their email and find 5 things that that they've accomplished. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. But guys, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's get to, I don't know, however many likes we can so we rank higher in the YouTube algorithm. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comment section. If you haven't already, vote on the poll. I asked the question, is Trump doing a good job? So far, 19 people have voted. 42% say yes, Trump is doing a good job, and 58% say no, Trump is doing a bad job. So vote on that poll. If you liked this video and want to see more like it, definitely subscribe to the channel. I do a lot of gaming stuff. I do politics every now and then. I just kind of like to know what's going on in our country. So I kind of like to keep up to date with it. But it's mainly a gaming channel. But we do politics stuff here every now and again, or talk politics while we're playing video games. So if that sounds entertaining to you, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Until then, my name is Adam, and remember, keep calm and game on. Toodles!